Okay, here we are.
Hey,
We're
Spencer.
announcing the first live workshop that the Treasure Coast Photography Center is doing in over a year. And with me, I have Mark Smith, who is a wonderful photographer and artist. And Mark and I are working together to do this first workshop called Tea with the Doll. But before we get into the workshop, I want the audience to get to know you a little bit, the participants that might come in. And Mark is not only a photographer, but he's a wonderful artist. So you do beautiful, creative makeup
The whole
for the
whole
model,
thing. Yep.
and then
Yep.
you do the art for the background, and it's just a total setting. So before we get into the workshop, Mark, let's just give them an idea of some of the work that you've done. Let's start with Supergirl.
Spencer, usually all of these pieces of artwork, what I'll end up doing is sketching them all out 1st. And then from the sketch, I try to come up with ideas. Most of this stuff is staged in my house. My wife has to move all of her stuff around while I do this. And like Supergirl was basically 12-foot wide piece of paper with a hole in it, and put her body through it, and then did all the paint work on the paper and her outfit, and there you mixed photography and artwork together.
It's fabulous. And so that was a big sketch, right?
It was big. The whole thing was just amazing,
Yeah.
and it looked great. It
Yeah.
looked fantastic.
So these are the kinds of things that you do.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one where you do a lot more custom painting on the art on the model, and that's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I had to do that actually twice because the problem with that, we had to do the stretched skin and the bones, but when she's breathing the whole time, and you're trying
I hadn't
to,
thought of that.
yeah, neither did I, and you're trying to paint, and she's breathing, and so some of the spots she really had to just hold her breath, and we got really good by the time we did it the second time, so that was a fantastic one. Really.
So the whole point of this thing, if you look at this photo, see how beautiful those bones are, and you painted all that on the artist.
All of it.
And it's like, okay, deep breath. We got to do some detailed work.
Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
I actually was feeling the bones as I did it, so I really just followed along with the body.
Amazing piece of art. So that's some of the thing we're going to create. And so before we get into our workshop, let's show them one more. This is a set called Rock, Paper, Scissors. And I guess we'll start with rock. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, rock, I really wanted to look like stone. I loved the whole concept, rock, paper, scissors, going back to childhood. And I airbrushed all of that. I airbrushed it, and it really looked like rock when I was done. And it was just you had to do all three to really enjoy it.
So you see rock,
Yeah.
and it's got that look. And the next one is paper, which I think is amazingly creative.
Very, very, very soft liquid latex, actual paper, and painting her blue was a lot of fun.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Of all the pictures, I've showed several people this in promoting the workshop and telling people about your work. Most people really, really like paper. They just love that creation. And then scissors
Scissors. So,
gets that.
Scissors was a shock picture. To see that piece of her lips cut away and emphasized on the scissors, that was a lot of fun. And there's no Photoshop in any of those. So what you see is what you get.
So that's what you created. When you did scissors, I looked at that and say, how did Mark do it? So how did you do scissors?
Took a photo, scaled it down, and cut out the scissors. The lips, and held them up there and put the scissors there and blackened in everything, and it really was very effective.
So the workshop that we're doing is going to be based on one of your creations. In fact, it's won first place in From the Heart, and I think you took a second place at Bacchus.
Correct.
And it's called The Doll. So what we're going to have in the workshop is the doll. And so here's a close-up of the doll. Why don't you just talk a little bit about the doll? You call her Raggedy Ann.
Raggedy Ann. The doll was all airbrush, and it was the first time I ever glued something to someone's face, which were those big buttons, so she couldn't see. And Raggedy Ann was the way of me talking and communicating. Raggedy Ann moved to the left, Raggedy Ann moved to the right, moved forward. And it was fantastic. Just
So Mark, we're going to bring the doll back to life.
Yeah,
The full-size doll, arms, legs, even the feet with burlap shoes.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring her to the life, and the photographers in the workshop are going to be able to take this doll and pose her. And you've set up 2 photo settings for backdrops. One is kind of a throwaway setting. It's more your trash bin,
Right.
your
Yes.
large, huge trash bin with some trash bin, and it's thrown away, the doll for the Monday morning trash pickup.
pretty much look like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little graffiti in there too
Yeah.
going on. with
Yeah,
the
so it looks
dumpster.
like the real thing, like they just throw it away. And so that's one thing that you, the photographers, can do, is take that. And then the other one is completely opposite. You came up with this idea. I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, we're building a set right now that we can pick up with a forklift and bring it into the shop, set it down, and it'll have a sheetrock. It'll have a fake window with a background setting, and it'll have a really elegant tea table with tea with a couple of chairs, and she'll be just elegantly having tea.
Isn't that amazing? So we're having a tea setting. The windows, the chair, everything. So it's tea with the doll, Raggedy Ann. And so the nice thing about this one is that you can be in the picture with the doll having tea. So you photographers that come, why not be a little bit creative in the attire that you wear in, and maybe you can do something special to make the photograph a little bit more fun. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's get into the who, when, what, and where. So it's going to be at your place. That's another
Palm City Collision.
Palm City Collision. It's easy to find. It's you'll see the address right here, but it's basically right at the Turnpike.
Right. Yeah.
Very easy to find. It's May 22nd, Saturday afternoon, from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock, and we're setting up half-hour slots for 4 photographers. So from 1 to 2, from 1 to 1:30, we'll have a slot with 4 photographers. We'll do some shots with the throwaway. We'll do some shots of tea with the doll. And then the next set of 4 photographers will come in from 1:30 to 2. So you have to register for this. The cost is $15 to cover the cost of the artist and the model and all the backdrop and creative set development that you're doing. And let's see, what have I left out?
I think you got it. I'm sure there's going to be some other surprises there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It really is.
So we'll see you Saturday sometime between 1 and 4. Mark, I got to thank you for
you.
doing something
Thanks,
together.
Spencer.
This is going to be fun.
Excellent.
See you then.